Hi everyone, Grada here with you, the Miracle FM, and tonight I want to have some fun with you. Thank you actually for bearing with me and for sticking by me because I had for having a no-show last night, and I really want to make up for it tonight. So I actually want to do some shadow work. So before we start and get into it, I want you to get a pen and a piece of paper ready, just something to scribble on, and then I'm going to do some fun looking into yourself in a kind way and bringing some awareness to some dark traits in you and in me that you're not proud of, and I want to integrate that shadow. This is called shadow work. This is a really good book by Debbie Ford, and there are many other authors who've written about shadow work. And I think it's really appropriate to do it tonight because what we're seeing in our society at the moment across the entire globe is deep, deep division, because people are being provoked by our politicians, by our leaders, and because they are triggering something in us. So for instance, if I use Donald Trump, people think he's a bully, and so they think he's a bully or a dictator, and then they don't look at his other qualities. And so Joe Biden, he's been portrayed as a sleaze and a cheat and a liar, and so that blocks us from looking into all the rest as well. But what's happening is that we're reacting deeply to and strongly to our own shadows, and if we use this opportunity at the moment to integrate some of those shadows, we can really liberate ourselves and we won't be triggered so much, and then literally we can be a safe person to be around. We can be more lovable and we feel more whole, and a lot of energy is freed up. Because what happens, shadows or rejected parts, you could say, or dark traits in us come about, of course, in our childhood. That's the main time that it happens. But babies are not born with shadows. Like when we came into the world as a beautiful little gift from God, like a divine sacred being, we didn't have any shadows on board. But then probably a shadow might happen if you cry, like you're a little baby and you're hungry and you're crying, and you might hear your mom say, "Oh, she's hungry again, she's so greedy, like Grada is so greedy." And so then she might be frowning, and at the little baby, I'll talk about myself then. I might have thought, "Oh, better not make mom angry again," because literally my life depended on it, because little babies are helpless and we all want to be lovable. So this is how it continues. So some of my deep dark shadows a few years ago still were lazy, because I was, as a child, put into the lazy category, and messy. I was always messy as well, even though my parents thought that it was funny, but it still left a mark on me. So let me just explain a little bit more. A shadow, when we reject it, so this is a trait that we're not proud of, so we either consciously reject it, so something will come up and we think, "Oh, that doesn't feel real good, I don't like this feeling, or I don't want other people to see me like this," so you push it under. So that can be maybe you feel like being loud, and you shut yourself down because you don't want to be seen as a loudmouth or something like that. So that's a conscious reaction. But most of our shadows are really deeply, deeply unconscious, and they're sitting below the surface where we're not conscious of them anymore. We've lost our awareness around it, and they're using up a ton of energy every day, so they make us feel exhausted. But how do you know you have a shadow, or how can you identify a shadow? And I'm going to ask you to do that now. I want you to think of somebody who's close to you, like your bestie or a sibling. Siblings are really good What do you not like about a sibling? Like, what are some of the things that trigger you in one of your siblings, or in your bestie, or in a colleague, or a neighbor, or of course you can use the politicians at the moment. And then I want you to write that word down, like things that come to mind. And so at the moment we're looking for dark shadows, because dark shadows are what's creating a lot of division and unrest in the world. And by us integrating our own shadows, we're really speeding up the way we're helping Mother Nature forward. We're helping to create peace on a global level by us, each individual, doing our own inner journey, because your life is very important, because you came here as a light being. Literally, I see everyone, every human being, as a sort of an antenna, like with your own light, and you are the place where heaven and earth meet. And it's really important that you become aware of what's going on in your body, in your inner space, and also that you start valuing yourself properly. And valuing yourself, you can do that by taking the time to tune in and check in what's going on, and be compassionate to yourself, and just realizing that we've all got shadows, and each shadow has a valuable, a valuable something, a treasure in it, like something, a strength. Okay, so I'll just, if you think of Donald Trump and you classify him as a bully or a dictator, well, what's good about being a bully? If you can, so each dark shadow has a little nugget of gold in it. And if you keep suppressing that trait in you, you're also going to miss out on that inner strength. Right? And I've done this with like many of my students over the years when I've done programs in the past, and it's a fun activity. It's very confronting, but people are totally transformed. Like, I remember one of my beautiful women who's my age, and very, very kind, friendly, sweet lady, very sweet, very loving, would never lash out at anyone, and she had to integrate her mean self, like the bitch or something like that, or her mean self. And so in a minute I'll show you how to do that. And once it was fully integrated, she became radiant. She became so attractive, and it was like there was a real power now in her spine, like she had spine suddenly, and that had an effect on her relationship. It became more rewarding, and so on. So that's how it works for us. And so I'll just use another example for me. Like, for years and years and years, I struggled with my psychic, intuitive side, because Peter and I, we spent the majority of our life be in a fellowship in a very, very strict fundamentalist Christian church. So some of the work that I was doing might have been frowned upon. That's what I felt anyway, and I had to kind of keep that secret. I had a lot of internal turmoil around it, and so I had being psychic was one of my dark shadows. I didn't want anyone to know it. But what used to happen then, we used to have a lot of visitors. I had a big family. I loved being hospitable. I had people staying here a lot. And then sometimes, because I was suppressing my psychic skills, it was a dark shadow. I didn't want anyone to see it. But then, because I'm very chatty, I would be opening a conversation, and before I would know it, I would be talking about suicide or something like that, a story about suicide or something crazy like that. And then I would find out later that that particular guest was struggling with suicide, and so on. So I had to integrate and own my psychic self. Well, that could be in our church, that would have been considered a dark shadow, but maybe in a normal society that might be considered a large shadow. So it's really anything that you have tension around that you don't like about yourself. So I'm just going to stop and let you write down. It's the time, yeah, we've got time. Write down a trait that really triggers you in somebody, like something that will pop up and you don't like it. So for instance, I've written some down. So lazy, I am lazy. What if somebody said, oh, Julie is such a lazy person, how would it make you feel? Selfish, rude, needy, competitive, cheating, being a bully, I already said that, demanding, arrogant, rude, ignorant, messy, show pony, aggressive, cowardly, unreliable, heartless. So these are some big ones. So I just want you to choose one. So for instance, if you're a bully, you get things done. That's an inner strength, like the benefit of being a bully. Imagine if your house is on fire or something like that, and you just go around like, oh, everyone, it's time to leave the house. You know, the family is going to get burnt, or the crowd. So it's good to be able to access the bully so you can create change, positive change. So what's good about cheating? So that was Donald Trump's example. Well, what's good about cheating? The rigging the election system. If we think about Biden, well, somebody who cheats, sometimes it's good to cheat because it's like a shortcut to something that you really want in your life. So you have to be smart. So if you never want to cheat, ever, say that could actually mean that you become overly serious and overly responsible because you have too much charge on that subject. So like cheating can be taking a shortcut when you go for a walk and you cut the corner off and that sort of thing, right? So, but if you have too much charge or stress around that subject and you're never going to cheat, your life can turn out to be extremely exhausting, and you always carry the burden of massive responsibility, and you have trouble handing over, so you could become a control freak and so on. So what was another one? Selfish. So like I used to struggle with that one. I never wanted to be seen selfish, and the majority of the women that I deal with, that I see, the majority of my clients, of course, are beautiful, heart-centered, caring, giving women. Actually, researchers tell us that most people in the world are givers. There are way more givers in the world than takers, which might actually take you by surprise. So if you have heaps of charge around selfishness and you never want to be selfish, you could become an overgiver and really work yourself into the ground and destroy yourself. So a drop of selfishness will often give you real clarity and make your life more enjoyable and make you more radiant. So if you've discovered a trait, maybe you just choose one. And now I'm going to show you how we can release that in you so you feel free and liberated. And so it's good to do a shadow like one every week or one a month, or just when you become conscious of one, you immediately integrate it and you find that your whole life will turn around. You become radiant, magnetic, less irritable, you become a safe person to be around, and lots of fun as well. So okay, I don't like the word ignorant right now. I feel that straight away I feel a reaction in my body. So if people, for instance, said, oh, Grade is so ignorant, that would really deeply upset me. So if you've got a word ready, I want you to now sit like this, put your hands together like this, and rest your hands on your chest, like what I'm doing now. And it really brings you into your center. Straight away, that makes you feel relaxed. You can close your eyes. Drop into the back of your body. Become aware of the space inside your body, your real self. And now you just say out loud, I am whatever. So I'll say, I am ignorant. And just feel what the energy does in your body. Just notice what's going on when you say your word. I am ignorant. I am ignorant. So I feel that it's kind of stuck in the back of my head, and which means that it hasn't integrated. But by resting my hands like this, that's basically allowing my right and left brain to talk to each other and to talk to my heart, and it's bringing that part home. And for instance, what's good about being ignorant? So a good way to do this is finding the golden nugget inside the word. So a great thing about being ignorant is, if you don't know much, people are not going to make demands on you, right? So your life gets easier. So straight away now, I feel my body responding. My body is actually thinking, wow, that's actually a good thing. I can do with a little bit of rest and relaxation, and I don't need to know all the answers. So I can be curious as well sometimes. So straight away, I felt a chemical shift in my body. So just close your eyes again, and we do it again. So just choose your word. It's something that you never want to be labeled as. Excuse me. So it can be ugly. So just think of something like that. And now we're going to ramp it up a little bit. So I'm going to say now to myself, I love myself for feeling ignorant. And I want you to use the same word. So I love myself for feeling put in your word. And feel what's going on in your body. Just feel it, notice if your body is freeing up a little bit, if the trigger is leaving. And just imagine if that word can just drop down into your tummy, into your pelvic area, all the way down your legs, into your feet, onto the ground, and feel an inner strength and relaxation flowing through your body. So just say that again. I love myself for feeling ignorant. That's my word. And you just put in your word. I love myself for feeling I hope you find a really fat, juicy word, a fat, juicy dark side, a fat, juicy shadow. Because the bigger the shadow, the more relaxed, happy, healthy, and freer you're going to feel at the end of the session. So you basically got the hint now, and so just put your hands like this, and we do that to get you out of that fight and flight and put you into a nice, relaxed, safe state where you feel secure, and then you can drop that shadow into your body without traumatizing yourself. Because some of us have trauma around these words. Okay, and then you feel into your body and make sure that shadow drops all the way into your pelvic area, goes down your legs, into your feet and then into the ground. And you start to feel a real connected feeling, a safe and a strong feeling in your body, like a settled feeling. And that's actually the whole point, that you become more and more settled in your body, in yourself, that you become less fearful of what's going on inside your body, that you feel proud and resilient, and that you value yourself in an easy way, that you become kind and loving to yourself. That's really the object of all of this work. That's why we do like work like this that makes you sweat and uncomfortable, and then you break through, and then you just feel so free and liberated, and people are going to say, wow, you look amazing, what did you do yesterday? And then you can say, well, I integrated this big shadow that was always upsetting me in the past, and now it's not upsetting me anymore. So yeah, this is great. I have many more stories, but I think of shadow work and how it changed people's lives. Some of you have done it with me in the past, so this is a good reminder to just start doing it again. And you'll enjoy a lot more peace and relaxation. Thanks for tuning in. Hi Diane, good to see you here. And I'll be back on board next Thursday night, and hope that you have a really, really good week. Stay safe, everyone. Love yourself a little bit more. Take good care of yourself. And if you have any questions, pop them in the box, and also maybe share your shadows, because we've all got them. We've all got shadows, and it always feels good to know how other people are working through theirs. Thank you, everyone. Big love from me, and see you next week. Bye bye.